So maybe you can touch a little bit on like what the future of Hackster is. Like, what are these resources and like this like future platform that you're talking about?
Yeah, so already, if you've been on the site much recently, you've probably noticed that we shifted from a very sort of separated, structured site. We added a feed recently, and that's kind of part of an indicator of where we're going, allowing more direct communication with platforms, direct communication with themed communities like home automation and wearable tech out in the open so that everyone can interact more directly and not just in comments on projects and things like that. So that's very exciting.
That's very exciting. That's super
And
cool.
plus, like, one thing that we want to do in the future is enable people more to share their skills in terms of getting employment and doing gigs for each other, and the fact that if someone wants to do the makerpreneur route and start their own company, they're going to have a lot of connections to do that, even more than we already were able to offer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You already have the community available, and like you're going to be naturally moving into like a job offering, right, or a job service. Like?
Yeah, sort of a connective thing where we're not necessarily offering the jobs, but we are facilitating that. I mean, the thing is, it's partly reactive as well. We already get lots of comment, like people who show up to our meetups are like, I'm looking for people like this, or do you know anyone looking for people like me? And the same thing in our feed. People are saying like, I want to build this thing. Yeah, and so this shift toward a way for people to help each other, to get connected, to maybe start their own company, to maybe help someone else start their company, and also to solve problems. So a bigger emphasis from I am making this project, how do I do this thing, to a more general question about like, how do I use Arduino with this thing? Or how do I use, Hologram with the particle system or anything like that?
Yeah.
It'd be a lot easier for people to find answers to questions like that.
I could see a huge value. Like coming from Hologram and a startup myself, like our discourse forum is like invaluable to us to like reach out to the community. But a lot of times in embedded systems and the whole Arduino Raspberry Pi system is you have multiple vendors. So it makes a lot of sense to maybe have like a mother forum that like pretty much where the conversation already has all these hackers in it, and then also all these brands already there.
Yeah,
kind of like what
totally.
Yeah, okay, I'm stoked then.
And also on the documentation front, so for example, SparkFun right now, on a number of their devices like the ESP8266 thing, they have links in the sidebar to Hackster projects that show you how to use that, as well as their amazing tutorials that they already have.
Right.
And that was exciting, and also helped point us in this direction of, we can really help people show like hands-on concrete examples of what to do with their technology. And of course, by putting documentation on Hackster, you make it easier for people who are already part of that community to find your product.
Okay. It sounds kind of like the community is maturing.
Yeah.
Where it's like going from like weekend warriors or little like home projects and stuff like that, where it's like now all of a sudden and IoT and the whole like world kind of matured as well, where now there's like these robust platforms that are both easy to use for like weekend projects, but yet you can build a whole product on top of it as well.
Exactly. And that dichotomy is exactly what we want to maintain, like keeping the weekend warriors and the hobbyists, keeping everyone who is like helping people go from the very beginning, like which is what I'm doing with this Hackster 101 series, helping them level up so that they can take their ideas from, just an idea, building the skills that they need, and or meeting the people who have those skills already, so that they can take it all the way to the top. I'm emulating Macho Man there, all the way to the top.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Someone make a meme on that, please.
We actually got Macho Man shirts after that video went around, like, cream with the crop.
Yes.
I got obsessed with it for a little while.
That is amazing. IoT, I know IoT, I love IoT. All right, digress. Anyway, now with a bigger marketing budget, you could totally bring it.
Well, the thing is, like, we've never been really super into, like, the marketing stuff. I mean, we're working with Artie Beavis, and he is amazing. He's the Macho Man of marketing stuff. He's a social media beast. He's amazing. But besides that, we don't really think about it much. Like, in terms of, we've always worked to keep advertisements off the site and things like that, and we don't do banner ads anywhere else, really. because what we want is to have it be a place that's not focused on explicitly commercial things.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to give. We've always been eager to work with startups and new companies by giving them exposure as much as people like Microsoft and Samsung.
Yeah, making a platform both for like the weekend warriors and the new people all the way to product developers. I think that's what's really interesting in our industry and where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Where you have that, and it's like, you're really doing a disservice if you market to just one side or the other. You're not getting the full story.
Exactly, and what we're trying to help is that metamorphosis where people come in and like, for example, with the hackathons, so we've always kept the price point at $5 or $10 to make sure that people actually show up if they get a ticket.
Right, yeah.
But also to keep the barrier to entry incredibly low, and people have always been able to take almost all the hardware they used home with them. And so, and we always run workshops, so it's making it really easy for people to come in with, very little experience and go home with new skills and technology as well. And that's partly what our Hackster Live thing is as well, as the meetups around the globe. And we send them, the ambassadors, hardware every month to run workshops with different partners and stuff. And that's just going to get better.
Yeah. How cool is that?
It's so cool.
It is so cool. Yeah, and from a brand perspective, like the feedback's invaluable. All of a sudden, like the cloud's clear, and you kind of like see the path forward on that. And I know, like working at a startup, sometimes that's fuzzy, And being out talking to developers and everything, one of their concerns is like, okay, there's a lot of movement in our industry. Like will a company be around like in a year or something like that? With competition and like different platforms, like where do I feel like at home? Where do I feel trust, like that it's going to be there, and I could put the investment in. Like with this investment from Avnet, like that kind of communicates to me, like you guys are going to be here for a long run. You guys have the plan already, and like pulling the trigger on it right now. So that's pretty exciting. I hope you're ready for exponential growth.
That is part of the plan. Yeah, definitely. It's a big part of the plan. Yeah, a lot of that relies on being a great place where people feel like they can put their work and it's going to be promoted, but also it's going to stay there. And they'll be able to show that off as a portfolio or whatever for employment, for their hobbyist website or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That trust is so important.
There might be like some concerns, like from the community, like when a larger company comes in and buys a company that's like so organic and you guys are so like authentic. So like maybe like, I know you touched on it really quick, where it's like you guys are like still very independent. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in fact something that Avnet themselves brought up to us, is that we would remain brand independent because they want it to remain a community that accurately reflects trends and interests and stuff among the community. So it's a huge priority for us as well as them, and people are going to be maintaining full control over their own projects, just like always. You can select from like 9 or 10 different licenses on your project. That's not going to change.
Nice.
The rights don't suddenly go to Avnet or anything, and we're not going to manipulate things to make Avnet look good, because as I said, they're like brand agnostic, so they work with a lot of our partners. They're excited about startups and helping them go higher. So
and I think like coming this far, your brand and the company has been always so conscious of like being authentic and doing the right thing and building bridges. I would just imagine that, like you said, you had multiple offers coming in or multiple people trying to think about like acquisition and stuff. Yeah. I'm pretty sure like it was a huge deal for you guys, like the right culture fit, the right ideals, that you would be able to keep your voice and everything. So very cool. Very exciting. So, and everyone like on the executive team, like the founders, they're like staying and everything?
Everybody's staying. So you shouldn't see much in terms of a change in culture, but our focus on what exactly we're trying to encourage and how to do that, like you said, is kind of growing up.
Nice. Nice.
Besides the fiscal resources, also the fact that they are a huge components distributor means that they have connections to all these people that makes it a great way for our community to get a leg up, basically, if they want to
Yeah.
found a startup. And that's one of the things that we're excited to start doing, and one of the things that we're sort of angling ourselves a bit differently.
What's the timeline for like these new features?
Ooh, well, we're already building, I think, much of that. So the feed was one step forward in allowing those clear communications, and beyond that, I'm not really in on the developer timeline, but as soon as possible, obviously. So that may be a factor in your hiring question. It's the type of stuff that I'm not really involved in, partly because it's totally not my forte. But it's gonna be fascinating.
I totally understand, because like I have a similar position to you, and it's a lot of times I don't want to fill my head. Very cool. Well, this has been like super awesome. I hope you guys are stoked for the future, because I am super excited for Hackster's future.
Me too.